What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check updates, the two new upcoming packages. Part one, the physical infrastructure package, which is $1.2 trillion, that has a deal between the Republicans and the Democrats. And then part two, the next stimulus package, which is $3.5 trillion. The stimulus packages are actually getting larger, as this next stimulus package will be the largest stimulus package yet to date, as the third stimulus check package was only $1.9 trillion. This next stimulus package will be $3.5 trillion. It could be negotiated down a little bit. The Kirsten Cinemas and the Joe Mansions of the world, dun dun dun, could negotiate it down a little bit, maybe 3.2 trillion, 3.0 trillion, some maybe negotiate it down a little bit. But by and large, it'll still be much higher than the third stimulus check package, which was only $1.9 trillion. And that, even that, still had the largest stimulus checks yet to date at $1,400 for adults, $1,400 for children, and $1,400 for adult dependents. And on top of that, in addition to that, had the $3,000 to $3,600 child tax credits that end this year. That's only passed for this 1 year unless they extend that in this year. So if you have children and you're getting that $250 to $300 monthly checks, those child tax credits, those are only passed for this 1 year. They want to extend that in this next package to go until 2025 or 2024. They also want to add adult tax credits, possible monthly checks for adults in this next package as well. So yeah, and that kind of seems to be what the Democrats tend to do. They tend to and they want to do this also with the free college that they want to do in this next package. They initially wanted 4 years of free college, but what they tend to do is they kind of take what they can get at first. So now what they're doing is they're looking for 2 years of free community college. They're looking to pass that in this next package, and then probably later on in one of the next packages coming up is that they're probably going to then push for 4 years of college and maybe extend it past community colleges as well. Similar to what they're doing with the child tax credits, is that they passed it for just 1 year for children, 65 million children, and the families of children. Of course, you remember they don't send checks out to 2-year-olds or 5-year-olds. They send it to the person who claims the child as a dependent on the most recent tax return. But now they're also looking to expand and extend the adult tax credits. And we don't know what that's going to entail yet, how much it's going to be. Is it going to be monthly checks? Is it going to be a check on a tax return, an additional stimulus check where you might get an extra $1,000 or $2,000 on a tax return? Whether you get a check on your tax return or you get a check on monthly checks like they're sending out now on the child tax returns, I mean, if they give you a check, it's a good thing, right? If they say, hey, would you rather have a $2,000 check on your tax return or no check at all? I think most people will be like, yeah, I'd rather have the $2,000 check. But yeah, they're saying that there is going to be an adult tax credits in this next package. And remember, we all know what child tax credits are now. They're also saying that there's going to be an adult tax credit in this next package as well. Could they be monthly tax credits as well, like the child tax credits? So yeah, there's going to be a lot of things in this next package. Remember, this next package is larger than the third stimulus check package. Larger. They're getting larger. And with the pandemic getting worse now, in fact, much worse now, yeah, the new numbers are in today, and it's really bad. Really bad. Let's jump right in. We got a lot to cover today. What they're doing in the Senate. It's voting week. They're voting on finalizing part one. And then moving on to part two, they're going to be voting on, if everything goes according to plan, they're going to be starting voting on part two, the next stimulus package this week. Also, we're going to be talking a little bit about state stimulus checks. Remember the $350 billion that are going out to states, cities, and counties? I got some new information about that, and I got to have some new information coming out about how your states might be issuing you a state stimulus check. And my wife actually dug up some pretty cool information coming out about that. Yeah, I'm going to have more to come about that. I'm going to have to research into this, but yeah, some really cool information coming out about that. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. And remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m. 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to hit the like button for us as well. It really helps out our channel. Credit card debt increased by $17 billion in quarter two as stimulus payments leveled off as a fresh cry to lawmakers to pass this next stimulus package quicker. And really, the longer this pandemic continues to go on, basically saying, yeah, this if this pandemic continues to go on longer, that they're going to continue to need to pass more stimulus because really this economy is continuing to maybe get worse or stagnate. As you can see the data right here, credit card debt increased by $17 billion. So people are not paying off their credit card debt. It's not staying around the same levels. In fact, it got worse by $17 billion in just one quarter. Yeah. So things are not getting worse. As you know, as you come out of a pandemic, things would be getting better, or maybe at worst case scenario, things would level off, maybe stay the same. No, credit card debt increased by $17 billion. Yeah, and this was in quarter two when the third stimulus checks were still going out. Yeah. Those $600 stimulus checks for the state of California will probably start going out next month. Next month. Yeah. So California passed the round two of their $600 state stimulus check. Round one went out to people making up to $30,000. Round two goes out to Californians making up to $75,000. They're saying that's going to go up to, I think it's around 27 million people. 27 million people. Yeah, that's a lot of people for $600 per person. In fact, if you have children, you can get an additional $500 stimulus check for a total of $1,100. Yeah, those are going to start going out next month, apparently. I seen some information that said they might start going out at the end of this month. But yeah, this is for the state of California. I have some new information about some other states with some stimulus checks that I will maybe have for you guys in the next video or two. I got to do some more information about it. I got to do some more research about it. So I will be having that for you here in the next couple videos. As you can see here, California will deliver $600 stimulus checks to an estimated 2/3 of its nearly 40 million residents in September under the state's recently approved $100 billion budget package to aid economic recovery amid a new phase of coronavirus pandemic. And as the highly virulent, that's a virulent, I don't know if I see that word on a daily basis, the highly virulent Delta variant, say that 10 times fast, highly virulent Delta variant continues to drive up COVID-19 cases across the country. A petition for the federal monthly direct payments of $2,000 has gained momentum with a total of 2.72 million signatures as of Saturday for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks. Yeah. As state lawmakers approved the bill, Governor Gavin Newsom signed his 2021 California Comeback Plan earlier this month. Taxpayers earning between $30,000 and $75,000 a year will receive the second round of the $600 check. Undocumented migrant families will also receive a $500 check, as well as parents and guardians for each dependent child. Officials said the payments will be distributed sometime in September. Around 26 million of the state's 39.5 million residents can expect to receive a payment. Yeah, now remember, states, cities, and counties, California used a lot of their own money for this particular stimulus check. They used some of the money they got from the third stimulus check package, because remember, this package alone cost them $100 billion, okay? They did not get $100 billion from the $350 billion that went out to states, cities, and counties, because that would be like a third of all the money. They didn't get a third of all the money that went out to the 50 states, because remember, they're one state. Now, it goes out by population. They're the largest state by population, but they didn't get a third of the money. They used a lot of their own money. In fact, I don't like to pick sides or nothing, but I do think that Governor Gavin Newsom did do a good job. He went from, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, so don't quote me or anything on this, but he went from something like in the last few years from like a negative budget of like negative $40 billion or something like that to like a plus $40 billion, something like that. I don't have the numbers. And honestly, the longer this pandemic goes on, the more and more we're going to see states do this, the more and more we're going to see more stimulus packages coming out, more reconciliation cards, which means Democrats can pass stimulus packages on their own. Democrats get more of these on October 1st, which is less than 2 months away now. So after they pass part one and part two, which they are voting on right now, where they're voting on part one right now, they expect final passage of this week on part one if everything goes to plan. And then Senator Bernie Sanders and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says they then plan to start voting on the first parts of part two, the next stimulus package, the big one, the $3.5 trillion stimulus package this week. They expect to start voting on the first parts of that this week, maybe next week, depending on, everything, how it goes to according to plan. They're in the amendment process right now. The longer this pandemic goes on, and the more and more they're going to need to pass. Remember, they've already passed 6 stimulus packages, 5 underneath former President Trump, 2 stimulus checks in there. Remember, we had a couple other packages that had money for like vaccines, paycheck protection program, a couple other minor packages in there. One package currently underneath current President Biden. We also have this infrastructure package, the physical infrastructure package, which really isn't stimulus. And then we have the new, now current stimulus package they're working on right now, which is the big one, the $3.5 trillion package, which we're going to be finding out what's going to be in there. Stimulus checks, child tax credit checks, which I consider them stimulus checks. Whether you do or not, it's money from the government in your pocket, so it's a check. Adult tax credit checks, again, check from the government in your pocket. Whether you consider it a stimulus checks or a check, whatever it is, you consider it's money that you can spend and buy food with or pay your rent with. I mean, that's a good thing, right? Medicare 2.0, free college. And honestly, the Democrats are going to continue to pass packages after this. They have literally up until November of 2022 to continue to pass packages. And with the pandemic now getting worse, that just makes it more and more likely that there's going to be more and more stimulus. Check this out. Okay, so here's the new COVID cases. Here's where we were a little bit over a month ago. We were at, you can see here on the screen, we were at around 6,000 new cases, 4,000 new cases a month ago on June 27th. Yeah, we were at 4,000 new cases a month ago. Look at where we are as of yesterday, August 2nd, 135,000 new cases just yesterday. What a dramatic difference. And there was all these people saying, all the conspiracy theorists saying, oh, when Biden comes into office, the virus is just gonna go away. And honestly, this virus doesn't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. It really doesn't. And honestly, I really don't know what to say at this point, because we're seeing so many dramatic headlines that I don't know what to think. Look at this headline here. 70% of U.S. adults are now vaccinated with at least one dose. This is as of yesterday. So 70% of U.S. adults are now vaccinated with one dose, and yet we're seeing data like this. 135,000 people yesterday testing positive. Yeah. If you think this virus is going away, it's not going away anytime soon. Look at this trajectory here. Look at this trajectory. Does it look familiar? Does it look familiar to this? This was last winter. Remember, the viruses typically get worse over winter because they just do better in cold weather. When we hit 300,000 new cases in one day in January of this year. Look at the trajectory here, and look at how bad it got, and look at the trajectory now. And so we're at 135,000 cases right now yesterday, And experts are saying that we could literally be over 200,000 new cases this week. That's how bad it's getting. So for comparison, we're at 135,000 new cases today or yesterday. Last summer, at this point last year, we were only at 50,000 new cases last year. So yesterday, last year, we were only at 50,000 new cases last year. We're at 135,000 new cases today. So we have more than twice the amount of people testing positive today versus last year. Yeah, that's how bad it is out there with people testing positive. And this is with 70% of the people with at least vaccinated with at least one dose. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to tell you. Check out these headlines here. New York City to require vaccination for indoor activities, restaurants, and gyms.
This is crucial because we know that this will encourage a lot more vaccination. We've seen it already. We've seen the impact of the mandate we've put in place for city workers already starting to move people to vaccination. We've obviously seen the positive impact of incentive as well. The goal here is to convince everyone that this is the time. If we're going to stop the Delta variant, the time is now. And that means getting vaccinated right now.
Yeah, New York City will require proof of vaccination for workers and customers who want to participate in indoor activities, including dining and restaurants, working in gyms, and attending theater performances, Mayor Bill de Blasio announced Tuesday. Again, people that thought this stuff would never happen, I'll read it to you again here in black and white. New York City will require proof of vaccination for workers and customers who want to participate in indoor activities, including dining in restaurants, working out in gyms, and attending theater performances, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio announced on Tuesday. Proof of vaccination for workers and customers to dine in restaurants, work out in gyms, and attend theater performances. New York City Mayor. Yeah. So all these things that people said would never happen are now starting to happen. This policy is one of the first of its kind in the United States and comes amid a nationwide spike of COVID-19 infections, driven largely by the spread of the Delta variant of people who are unvaccinated. But yet, here we are with this headline right here. Says 70% of U.S. adults are now vaccinated with at least one dose. I don't know what to tell you guys. Oh, yeah, here I got this headline here for you, too. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo harassed multiple women, State Attorney General report says. Guys can have at that one as much as you guys want as well. Florida COVID hospitalizations shatter records as Governor Ron DeSantis downplays threat. Yeah, so Florida hospitalizations shatter record from Politico as Governor Ron DeSantis downplays threat. Yeah. Florida mayor says COVID-19 numbers are doubling every 9 or 10 days. Florida reports the highest number of new COVID-19 cases in a single day since the start of the pandemic. This was on August 1st, 2 days ago. Yeah. But on the other hand, we says 99% of fully vaccinated Americans have not had a deadly COVID-19 breakthrough case. So we're seeing a lot of conflicting reports here. So basically, this article says that if you're vaccinated, if you're fully vaccinated, that you could catch COVID, but you have a very, very high chance of it not being deadly. Arkansas reports its biggest one-day spike in hospitalizations. Denver issues a vaccine mandate for city workers and high-risk private employees. We're seeing a lot more of these vaccine mandates in certain government areas and for employees and certain city areas. We've seen this in New York and California, and we're just gonna probably see more and more of these guys. I mean, it's happening. It's happening. I mean, literally, New York City requiring indoor vaccination for indoor activities for customers and employees. And this is with 70% of people vaccinated. And we're seeing more cases than we ever seen last summer. Twice as many last summer. What was it? Last summer we had 50,000 cases at this day of last summer, and now we have 135,000 cases. This Delta variant is no joke, guys. No joke. We have people who are vaccinated. I'm seeing so many reports. Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, saying he's vaccinated. He just caught it, and this Delta variant is for real. I mean, a lot of people that are vaccinated are catching this. Now they're saying that if even Lindsey Graham himself said his symptoms are very, very mild, and he's actually thanking the vaccination. But I don't know, man. We're seeing mandatory vaccinations. New York City literally just announcing it. California has previously announced it. We're seeing a lot of private sectors announce it. We're seeing a lot of government sectors announce it for government employees. The military is considering it. It's crazy. It's crazy. I would not put it past it for school children to have this mandatory in the future. I personally think with the vaccines that are already quite required for school children, that will be happening sometime in the future. I think that it'll probably happen after it's fully FDA approved. Remember that it's the vaccine is only approved for emergency FDA use. Again, it is approved for emergency FDA use. It's not approved for full FDA approval. When and if that'll happen, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen this year or not. I think that once full FDA approval comes, I think we're going to see a lot more mandatory vaccinations, and I see a lot of people say mandatory vaccinations will never happen. Guys, they're happening. I mean, I'm literally seeing it in this past week. I'm showing you these articles that New York City literally doing them. Now, they're not mandatory where like they're forcing you to take it, but like if you want to go to a restaurant, you have to take it. If you want to work at certain jobs, you have to take it or you may be forced to quit. Like that mandatory in that type of thing. Like I mean, I'm showing you the articles, right? I mean, it's getting crazy out there. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts. And honestly, the longer this pandemic goes on, the more and more stimulus they're going to have to pump out because the economy is just going to, and jobs are just going to, unemployment is just going to, everything is just going to get really, really bad, worse than it is if they don't keep pumping out stimulus. So I'll keep you up to date with everything. Let me know your thoughts. Yeah, make sure to subscribe. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video is my newest video about how President Biden wants to raise Social Security benefits. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.